Have fun with that. Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of Futon Talks. We like to call this one the Forbidden episode, because we're talking about Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West, otherwise called Horizon Zero Dawn Part 2, if it had been named by the executives at Sony.
Horizon Zero Change.
Horizon Zero. Interesting take there, my friend. But, yeah.
I was just trying to make up a name.
Oh, I was like, oh, Mr. Carbon Copy over here. But we're going to be talking about a game which I am surprised is not more divisive. I feel like the critical consensus for this game has been actually pretty plain. Like across the board, pretty static in a pretty positive way for the game. So very interesting. Anyway, but we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, I am joined by my best friend and co-host, Christopher Midling. That's me. Right. He's the one who is
strongest guy of the West,
flexing out of his shirt. Strongest man in the West.
I'm the real Aloy.
Dude, if you were the real Aloy, I think that we might have had a better voice performance.
Let's not be sexist here.
Oh, dang.
She did fine.
Dang.
Gotcha.
Dude, you freaking got me. I knew Ashley Birch was just waiting to cancel me for this. Darn it.
Well, rip my face off. I'll be her.
Oh my gosh. You'd have the same face as Aloy if you just shaved. She has a kind of a weirdly shaped face, right? Or am I insane? Maybe it's just the picture you sent me, the thumbnail.
Oh, I changed her face.
Oh, you edited it? I was like, she looks like she has been stung by a bee or something.
Yeah.
She looked very odd. Anyway, for your guys' information, we're going to do what we should do. We're going to get right into it. We're probably going to maybe add some light stuff at the end. If you've seen our Would You Rather video, we're going to do one semi-Would You Rather kind of thing kind of at the end of this to lighten the mood, because this may be a dark episode, go with the theme of Forbidden. But tell me, Chris, what are your 3 words? What are your 3 words for this game?
I totally forgot we did that.
Oh, frick.
3 words for Forbidden West. No, I come on. I can do this.
Look at this improv over here. Dang. Is this The Office? Wow.
3 words for Forbidden West. Forgettable. As I've labeled the episode and the thumbnail, Forgotten West.
Whoa.
Unlikable? Overall, a slog.
Wow.
A slog. Not a slug. Maybe a slug, too. But kind of a slog, dude.
Interesting.
And I don't know if it's my fault, or Elden Ring's fault, or the game's fault. I do have to say one thing before you get into your 3 words. I kind of got to disagree with you with the positive feedback on this game. Because it's actually rated lower on Metacritic than the first game.
Well, what's it rated?
And it's like an 82 to an 84 or something like that. It's a couple points lower than the first game. Well, the first game might be 86. Here, I'll stop lying and I'll look it up.
I'll say you're not a huge fan of the first game.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Because we'll talk about that. I mean, I think, by the way, big disclaimer as he's looking for this. You have someone who is a pretty big fan of the first game. I really liked it. It was one of the first games I played on PS4. And then Chris is kind of a staunch anti-fan of the game. He's developed this new attitude over the last little bit, which I think is totally fine. I see that first game as actually pretty... I think it's a game that you're either really going to like or you're not going to like very much just because of the systems in it. But,
okay, so it's not that big of a deal. It's Zero Dawn was 89 by critics with an 8.4 from users, and then Forbidden West was an 88 by the critics and then 8.0 by the users.
And that's what I thought.
But the thing was, it was kind of controversial for no reason at all. but people were like, the same rope animations in the game. She's doing the same animations.
So dumb.
BS is just, people are just looking for things to hate about the game.
Yeah.
And that was really odd seeing that before the game came out and after. People like accusing the developers of reusing assets to save time.
Yeah.
To bring this game to them.
I think like those things and then a lot of complaints about graphical issues were pretty blown out of proportion. But I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say you do have a history of getting like the bad code or whatever. I feel like you always get like the worst possible version. But
No, my Forbidden West was immaculate.
It was silky smooth. Incredible performance. You know, I had no issues. But yeah. So I think this game has enough problems that it doesn't need to like have these dumb issues piled on it. Like, oh, it's like got these weird like after image effects and like it's like this game is. That's not the problem with this game. It's a technical marvel, I think. But
and back to what you were saying. I was hot on Zero Dawn for a while. I tried going back into it after a year or so, and I couldn't get with the controls because I just wanted to play the Frozen Wilds. Yeah. Couldn't do it. And actually, for Forbidden West, I tried going back just to like mess with the game before we recorded. The control schemes, man, you have to start from the beginning for this game. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like square is sliding and L2 is jump. I don't know.
I don't know why they don't let you rebind the controls in this game.
Yeah.
I was like, please, can I just make crouch R3, please? But it's okay. Whatever.
But yeah, what are your 3 words, bro?
So, bro, I have 2 words, and then I have a phrase, as is tradition. Gorgeous. Empty. And my little phrase is a beginner's effort. And I'd like to expand on that one. I think the other 2 are a little bit more self-explanatory. So, also big disclaimer. I have been watching a video because I came out of this game and I was like the credits are rolling. It's 3 a.m. You know, this was like 2 weeks ago and I looked like this. Really. That's the game. For those who can't see me, the look on my face is disappointment. I'm just like, what? That's it? Like the whole time I'm waiting for something to be good for the last 40 hours of my life, you know? And so because of that, I went and I watched a video that was like all the things that make Horizon Forbidden West great. You know, like a really happy thing.
Oh.
And they drew some like really good points about what I think I understand what the story was supposed to be. And like the emotional beats it was supposed to hit. And so I'll talk about that because I'd like to compare what it's supposed to be to what I got out of it later. But what I mean by beginner's effort is that they have these great ideas, right? I think the story they were trying to tell is a really interesting one. So the story, beginner's effort, I don't think they stick the landing at all, personally. Companions are a much bigger deal. They're a big part of the story, and they're kind of a big part of the gameplay in certain instances. But in my opinion, they do not stick the landing at all. The base, you know, the whole center of operations aspect that you see in a lot of other games. Think Persona 5, all the Mass Effect games. Other games I am not going to pull out of thin air, but you know what I mean? This is a thing. I don't think they nail the landing on that. The open world itself is somehow simultaneously the most gorgeous and detailed open world ever created, yet it is also one of the most lifeless open worlds ever created. And they do all this work to make the melee combat better, yet it ends up feeling awful. And then they do all this stuff to try to make the climbing more natural, and yet it is still just half-baked. It's like it was their first try at all of these new things, and I don't think any of them land in the way they wanted to. And so to me, everything feels like it was their first try. And like, good for them. I mean, some things turned out great, especially the visuals, and I think the music's really great. But it's like they needed some experienced folks to write the ship set like 7 months before launch, or like a year before launch or something. Mm-hmm. But what do you think? Does that resonate with you? I don't want to seem overly negative, but
no, I'm with you. If I could change my 3 words, if you'd be so kind.
Yes, sir.
Or maybe expand on them. You have an unlikable character that you play as. You have a gorgeous world, like you said. But then you have so much not to do. And so much to do at the same time.
Yes.
And yeah, the world is pretty empty. You just slide down hills and that's about it.
It feels good to slide down hills, but like, it only feels good for so long.
Yeah. No. I don't know what was wrong with this game when I was playing it. Because I didn't have any temptation to play Elden Ring yet. And I don't really know what I was playing beforehand, but I was geared up to go into Horizon Forbidden West with an open mind. I wasn't super hot on it before the game came out. That's why I only bought the Steelbook and not the collector's edition.
As you talk, I'll show them.
Yes, please. Yeah, something about this game. I don't know, guys. It was I'm not the biggest fan. See, right there, that cost $300.
No. This costs $300.
This costs $300. Let's go. Let me see this. Is this the Regala edition or is this the regular collector's?
Freaking Mike. This is the regular collector, so I'm not even...
It's not even painted like the Regala. Let me see a close-up of her face. I was very skeptical on... I was very skeptical on how her face would look. That's fine.
She looks okay. I mean, the elephant is really where it's at. It's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty dope.
Is it? Okay.
It's pretty cool. The Regala edition's cooler. The only thing that's different about it is it has like the thing on top for them to shoot out of.
Yeah, and it's all painted, right?
I mean, this one's painted.
No, I mean like with the Regala colors, not.
It's totally blank.
It's just you paint it yourself.
And I got
and you get a little.
I got a miniature book because they hate me. I feel like the miniature book is an insult. I want a real book.
Yeah, when did the miniature books become a thing? I'm tired of it.
Who told them this was a good idea? I mean,
yeah,
it looks cool on the shelf, but like, let's be real.
Look, I got the collector's edition of the Evil Dead. They gave me a full art book. It's very cool.
Dang.
See? Big pages.
Big pages.
I want to see all the color.
I'm with you.
I want to see everything.
I was a little bummed.
I want to see the car. I want to see all the little details.
I want to see everything.
It's too small.
Although, question about it being the Regala edition.
Mm-hmm. It's like an extra $50, right?
It is an extra $50. And I don't care about Regala. She was like a side plot.
She's a terrible character.
Right? Like,
she's a terrible character. They let her get away every time. She's like Dr. Evil.
And that's another thing that I think is like a beginner's effort, is they were like, hey, let's do like 15 plot points or like plots at once. And none of them are good because of it. It's like, oh, what I wrote down, my sentence to explain what I was trying to say, was if you try to do everything, you'll suck at all of it. You know? You can't do everything well. And they tried to do too much. And because of that, everything was kind of just mediocre.
Yeah. I would say if I could say one word as my only word, it would be a stepping stone. Yeah. This is a stepping stone of a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a big leap, and it was supposed to be a PS4 only game before PS5 came out.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why it's not the biggest leap. But the story is very odd. You got Jeff Bezos in there.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos from space. He came back.
Jeff Bezos.
You got the thing is they got really cool ideas, but then they don't execute them, or they're not fleshed out enough. And I had a very particular feeling of how this game was going to end that I was really excited for, and I didn't get it.
What did you?
And maybe that bummed me out.
What did you want? By the way, spoiler alert, everybody. We were going to spoil.
Yeah, we're spoiling things.
So we're spoiling real bad. So, what did you want the ending to be?
So, you got the Zeniths, right?
You do have the Zeniths,
which I don't like. I mean, they're cool. It's a cool idea that like Earthlings left, and then they're coming back, and now they're the aliens. You know, because everyone on Earth doesn't, you know, they're cavemen. So that's a really cool idea. But then you have Beta, who's another Aloy. She's another clone of the one
of Elizabeth.
Lady. Elizabeth. Terrible name.
A fake name. It's okay.
A very fake name. You got Beta, who I really like, actually. She might be my favorite character.
Wow.
I thought they were going to pull a Red Dead Redemption on us, kill Aloy, and then in the third game you play as Beta, but no one who hasn't played Forbidden West would know that because she looks just like Aloy. It would be a perfect marketing thing.
That'd be kind of interesting.
You wouldn't know. And Beta is a more likable character than Aloy.
Yeah.
I can't stand Aloy in this game, dude.
That was another thing. I was really glad that you said that. I don't like Aloy very much. Yeah. And it's disclaimer, boys. It's not because she's a woman and she's rude. It's just because she sucks. Like, she's just like, she acts very humble, you know, when she's with her friends. But then she is like super dismissive and rude to like everyone.
To everyone.
All the time.
Everybody.
It's like,
and I get the fact that she is like the only person who can save the world.
Kind of.
But she could use help. She never wants help.
I know.
And then, if she's like the only person who can save the world, why is she going out and like climbing Mount Everest?
I don't know. One slip, Aloy. That's all it takes.
Yeah,
one slip, you're done.
She could die from an arrow or a thunderjaw stomping on her, and then the world would be over.
Yep.
Maybe hang back for a bit and let these pawns do some work, you know?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I really thought Beta was going to be the star at the end and that she would, like, carry the torch. Maybe that's my fault for having high expectations.
I think that could have been really interesting. I would like to have seen more from Aloy, you know, as not just sucking. I don't know. Like, I would have liked this is the thing. This was one of my big notes. I wanted Aloy to learn lessons from her companions. You know, like is the formula for every game where you have companions. You know what I mean?
That would have been nice.
But this is the thing. In this game, this is the reversal. Instead of Aloy learning things from the people around her, Aloy teaches their companions things. Because they're all stupid. And everyone who isn't Aloy is an idiot. So it's like, it does not feel gratifying as the player to teach these fake people a lesson. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even have to be that hard, guys. Like, I feel like if every companion, like, had a string of, like, 3 or 4 companion quests, and over the course of that, she sees that, oh, she was wrong about something, and her companions can, like, teach her something. I feel like, number one, I would have cared about all of the companions. You know? Because, spoiler alert, Varl dies, and the whole time, I'm like, I should care that Varl died. Everyone cares, but I don't care, because I spent 5 minutes with Varl. You know?
Yeah. And Aloy was dismissing him the entire time.
Yeah, and Aloy was like, "Stop talking to me, Varl. Varl, go, like, whatever. I don't care, Varl. Stop caring about me." And you're just like, oh, I guess Varl doesn't matter, you know? And so,
Yeah.
I just feel like Aloy is in my opinion, is a very, very static character who is kind of boring and rude. And despite having these characters who are, in my opinion, more interesting than Aloy around her, she doesn't learn anything from them. Even though the developers explicitly want you to spend time with and care about these companions. Like, am I crazy?
No, not at all.
So I just felt like it was a huge miss.
Yeah, I did not care when he died. And actually, I ruined that scene for myself when it happened, because I thought Aloy was going to say she was pregnant too. When that one woman was like, "I never told him I was pregnant." I thought she was going to say the same thing, because that's what she would say, because she's so self-centered.
Yes.
Everything's about Aloy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this game is so beautiful. It plays all right. I'm not sold on how it plays, really, but it plays all right. But yeah, this story, like, this is where they had to, like, win me over, was this story. That's what I was excited for, because I didn't like the gameplay too much from Zero Dawn. Like, I liked killing a Thunder Job, but at the end of the day, I just didn't care. I put it on easy. I'll be straight up. I put the game on easy, because I just did not care.
I put it on easy, too, simply because, like, killing these things took so long.
Yeah, if you die, you have to start like 30 minutes before you even found them.
Yeah, and it was like even...
You have to trek up this mountain again. It's like, oh.
Like, wonderful. You know, closest bonfire or whatever. I mean...
Dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of the puzzles where you have, like, the one that you go in one of the vaults, or whatever they're called, where there's, like, water in there.
Yeah.
Dude, that one... I almost wanted to just break the game in half, because, like, Aloy would fall off and then I'll have to swim for 30 minutes just to get to a point where I can climb back up again. Ah, I hate those platforming puzzles. Awful. It was the one right before you meet Bezos and the Zeniths.
Oh, yeah.
It was that one. Dude, I hate that one.
Me too.
I hate all of them. Terrible. They're just perfect time wasters. Just filler for the devs to be like, let's keep padding this game out. We need to make it 30 hours long. Doesn't need to be.
Especially because I really felt like this game was supposed to be driven by story. And I think that partially because the story didn't land at all with me, all of the side activities, which are padding, kind of, in a way, they meant nothing to me, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, man, I didn't care about the hunting grounds in the first game. And now there's twice as many, you know? And, like,
yeah,
I get, is a thing. I get that some people like riding the machines. I get that. I have a bow.
I don't get that.
I want to shoot some stuff, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to shoot stuff, and I want pieces to fall off, and I want it to die. I'm a simple man. I want to do that, and I want to have good stories with the characters I care about. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But it's like so much mindless climbing and so much like hunting ground stuff. And then there's like another big side activity that I could not have been bothered with. Yeah, I just...
See, I liked the hunting grounds on the first game more because you were earning your way up to killing that red thunder jaw. That was really cool and unique.
It was part of a
really
big
cool
side
boss
quest.
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this game, you're just fighting them in an arena.
It also feels like, to me, like in that game, you were also trying to get in with like the Karja, and you're trying to get in with the Oseram. And so, you know, you're proving yourself to these communities to show them that they should respect you and allow you to help them, you know, and allow access to these ancient ruins that you need. And that made sense in the world.
Yeah.
But in this game, it just kind of feels like they were there because they were there in the last game.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, I get it. You know, your lore reason is, like, the Karja established these, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe the Tenakth had them first, and then the Karja took them. I don't care. But, like, the second you do something for Hikaru, immediately everyone's like, she is a god. And, like, you don't need to get in with anyone else, you know? And it feels like there's just one tribe. It's just the Tenakth and the Utaru. And it acts like there's going to be a bunch of these distinct tribes, like in the last game, with cool cultures. And they're all just Hikaru.
They're all the same.
All of them. So it's like...
They just had different colored paint on their face.
I know. It's like... Yeah. Maybe that was another thing I didn't like is... Places felt distinct in the first game, not just because they looked different, but because they had, like, different cultures. Whereas in this game, it was just like, we want blood. And then, like, that's the other thing. Half the game's like, no. The Tenakth, they're not just bloodthirsty savages. But then the Tenakth are like, hey, you want to know something about us? We're just bloodthirsty savages. You know? It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
How much depth there is here. I don't know. But it's like, yeah, there's just all these things about it where I'm like... Also, I felt like the flying on the Sunwing, too little too late. I already had to freaking crawl across this entire continent. You're giving this to me now?
I don't care.
Like,
I don't care.
I was like, are you serious? Now? Anyways. I'm glad you felt the same way about that.
Another problem. This is the episode of problems, guys.
We're sorry, guys.
Sorry.
If you guys love this game, I'm sorry. It just didn't gel with us.
Hands to you guys if you love this game.
Great. You can
but
buy my...
I'm tired of the fans. Sorry, I'm tired of the fans on Twitter always boasting about this game. It's as if it's the best thing on planet Earth.
It's certainly not the best game on PS5.
No.
Watch me name at least 3 right away. Returnal, much better. Demon Souls, much better. I haven't played Gran Turismo. I'm sure it's better. Like, I don't know. What other games are there?
Yeah.
A Spider-Man Remastered. It's a better game. You know, there's just... And it's not because this is a bad game. I just think it's a frighteningly mediocre game. With incredible visuals.
It looks great.
It's the prettiest game I've ever seen. Like, pretty much hands down.
Dude,
the photo
when it's
mode,
running at 60 frames.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, and it's buttery.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I interrupted you.
I don't know. But yeah, the other problem is there would be 2 seconds of gameplay between each cutscene.
Yeah.
You would like have a cutscene, walk for like 2 seconds, 10 seconds, and then another cutscene would play. Just make it a cutscene. I was tired of this constant gameplay cutscene. It was nauseating. It was like, oh my gosh. I'm tired of this. Stop wasting my time. Just do the cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, I like in their minds, in this world, it's either you're in Utah, Las Vegas, or San Francisco, which San Francisco has turned into Los Angeles.
Yes.
Why are there palm trees everywhere?
You know, there are.
Why are there palm trees everywhere?
There should just be a clam chowder everywhere.
Yeah. That was just something that was bothering me and Aspen as we're like playing together.
Maybe it's
palm trees.
Maybe it's supposed to be terraforming. I don't know. I agree with you though. That's not what San Francisco looks like.
There's no sand like this in San Francisco.
Ridiculous.
Where are these golden beaches coming from?
It's beautiful here. What's wrong?
Terrible. I don't know how did you feel about the terrain? What do they call them from Returnal? The not habitats, but
oh, I know. Yeah, the different biomes.
How did you feel about the biomes?
You know, it's really interesting.
I thought the best. Oh, sorry.
No, tell me.
I don't even care anymore.
Please. This game is very realistic in its depiction of nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I had just played Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is not the most realistic looking game, but it is the most beautiful game I've played in the last 5 years, probably. Simply because the subtle artwork and color design behind what you see elevates it beyond what's real, you know? And so, like, going into this, it was like walking outside. Like, yeah, it's beautiful, but, like, the real life is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I found it to be relatively boring at times. I think the most spectacular views were probably in fake San Francisco. Simply because the metal buildings with the foliage all over them, and then the beautiful beaches and the incredible water. I mean, the water in this game is, like, insane. It
is, yeah.
But I definitely felt in the beginning, you know, you're in these mountains that are snowy, and you're like, wow, this is the same. The desert didn't strike me. I probably spent 3 hours total in the desert. I did what I needed to do, and I left because I was like, I don't want to see
Las
this.
Vegas sucks.
It's not a very interesting area.
Sucks. And when you make it better, it looks worse somehow. Like with the faux holograms everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, it looks ugly.
It's like, it's
that
interesting,
was like my
but
least favorite.
I didn't think it was beautiful. Anyway, I don't know. I just found myself constantly underwhelmed because even though these areas looked beautiful, to me, they didn't provide the gameplay necessary to make it substantial feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And Elden Ring, and I hate to just compare games to Elden Ring over and over, but I guess this is the new era, okay? So this is how it's going to be. But like, in Elden Ring, it's massive, but it's also probably smaller than this, but it feels massive, you know? It feels massive, but at the same time, it's not a chore to get through, and it's not boring, and it's not empty. Whereas in this game, it is massive, and it feels massive, but not in a good way, to me, personally. To me, it's just like, it's like real life massive, you know? It's like when I have to walk to the store, I'd rather it not be massive, but it is, so I've got to walk now. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
this
it's
game
like
felt like a really, really good Far Cry game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Like, it's empty, but you get like outposts here and there, or you get the towers here and there that let you see more of the map. Yeah, I don't know. There was I thought the most interesting, was probably San Francisco. That was cool. I had some big problems with the story that happened there. And at that point in the game, I was rushing through it. I did not care. I
just wanted to see what was going to happen. I was just kind of done.
Yeah, and then I was upset from what I saw. I thought, like, the game was really cool once you got to Utah with the canyon.
Yeah.
Like, going to the Forbidden West. I was like, dude, I can't wait to see it.
And it's beautiful.
I can't wait to see it.
Giant vista.
Beautiful. Yeah. Glorious. I was having such a good time there. But maybe that was because the prologue was so awful.
So long.
Dude, that prologue was 2 hours long at least. And it was just Zero Dawn again. It was the same areas. And you just get Aloy being a total, like, horrible person to Varl. Like, a total jerk. Like, the worst person to Varl, who just helped you for, like, an entire game. She's like, screw you. I'm going to go do this on my own. And then you're relearning everything again because tutorials. And then you have a pretty lame boss fight with the snakes that really just wasn't challenging and wasn't interesting. Like, it's crazy to me that there are games from 20 years ago that have better boss fights than Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West right now. You know? Like, I think about Shadow of the Colossus, dude. The scale of those boss fights.
It is pretty crazy to think that we have these giant machines and we never climb them. I didn't really think about that.
Yeah. Like an AT-AT from Star Wars or something, dude. Like, why aren't we doing this? Why aren't they less robots but bigger scale? Why aren't we getting that? You know, and why is everything looking like an animal? I'm still. I played Zero Dawn. I'm still confused. Why is it a snake?
And why did she call it a worm? It's obviously a snake. A question.
Seriously.
This is the thing. One of the things I really liked about the first game was like the idea that you target weak points to hurt it. I kind of felt like that was a little bit lost, but I might be stupid. Like,
no, dude, I have no, like, weaknesses meant glowy things for me in this game. And they didn't mean like, oh, I'm going to shoot that because then it's going to make it not do that. That wasn't in my brain. My brain was just like, shoot all the weak points and then it's dead. Maybe that's my fault for playing on normal at first. I played half the game on normal and then just easy. Well, so maybe I was just killing them too fast.
I don't know. I played the first game on hard and then I did like half a playthrough on insane, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's not that I like dislike the difficult. I think it's pretty comparable. I think in this game, maybe weak points made less of a difference. Maybe I'm just crazy. I'm probably just crazy. I wish that it would be like, oh, a weak point on its ankle. And then you shoot its ankle and visibly it like falls over and like something happens. And then you shoot, and then you can't do that again. But, you know, if you shoot something else, like something else happens, you know? And I get that does happen in the game. It's just the feedback wasn't enough for me to feel like it was interesting or worth doing when I could just hit the glowy parts and it would just die.
Mm-hmm. And I hope, like, I'm not speaking out of turn either. Like, it's been a few months, maybe, or 2 months since I played this game, really. But I got the platinum. I put 60, 70 hours into the game. I know how the game plays. And I remember how Zero Dawn played. And yeah, when you fought a Thunderjaw, you were getting the guns off of it to use against it. And it was like a really, not empowering, but just a very gratifying thing to do after you take down a Thunderjaw. And I didn't feel that in this game. Even with the new dinosaur robot thing with the lasers, the purple lasers.
It's just another Thunderjaw.
Another Thunderjaw.
Yeah.
I know they're pulling like a Jurassic Park 3 on us.
I know, straight up, they did.
I didn't care about it. I don't know.
It was too easy. Granted,
Zero Dawn's better.
I played it on
Zero
easy.
Dawn's better. I'm going to say it.
I agree. I think Zero Dawn's definitely better. I think it's also easier for it to be better because it's introducing a really interesting world, but the things that were being introduced in the world were way more interesting. The Oseram, the Karja, the Nora, they're like all really interesting tribes that are all really different from each other. And you had the companion quests in the first game. You spend like 5 hours with Erend. A ton of time, you know?
I don't even like Erend. And
I liked Erend. Like, he grew on me, even though I didn't like him at first. I thought it was a pretty good testament to the writing in the first game. It's like, dang, I actually like this guy. Kind of hated him. In this game, you get like a quarter as much time with him, and the game is twice as long. How did that happen? In Varl?
Why didn't we see that one guy from the first game who wanted to kill you? Do you remember that side character?
The Karja boy?
Yeah, he was the most interesting side character in that game. And they didn't bring him back.
Yeah, maybe he just died. I don't know.
He was super cool.
I liked him. I thought he was interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Well, Chris, can I tell you what the story was supposed to be? So then we can look at it from a new perspective.
Please, tell me.
All right.
Because I don't know.
I didn't write notes for this. I should have.
Who cares about notes?
All right. This is a story all about developing Aloy's character. Especially...
Really?
I know. So, the whole story is about the weight that she feels on her shoulders because she feels like she needs to be Elizabeth, right? Or Sobek. I'll just call her Sobek.
Sure. Yeah.
So she needs to like be Sobek. She needs to live up to that legacy, you know? Mm-hmm. And ultimately, Sobek was quite ruthless, you know? She was a really good person and she created Gaia, but she also pretty much gave up on humanity. You know what I mean? And so she's like, okay, I'm the only one who can do anything. I have to save the world. Even Elizabeth even like puts a necklace with the world on it around her neck in like a dream. So like, oh, the weight of the world on my shoulders. A little bit heavy-handed there, Gorilla, as you are with all of your writing. Although somehow you're so heavy-handed, yet I didn't get this was the point. Wow. Maybe your hand was so heavy it like knocked me out completely. But anyway, so she's fighting this, right? She's like, okay, I need to be like Sobek. And what did Sobek do? She kind of pushed people away. You know, if you listen to the audio tapes with Tate and with the other members of Zero Dawn, they all talk about how could you love the world so much, yet not love a single person in it? And you're like, oh, I think I get what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Sobek, right? And she really takes on this persona of Sobek in the beginning of the game, where she's like, oh, I do everything on my own now. And so, Varl, get away from me. You're icky. Your beard sucks, even though it's obviously beautiful. And just pulling all this crap, where she's telling everyone to leave her alone. And anyway, so this identity, this like cold, detached identity is with her throughout the game, where she's trying to figure out how to navigate things. But she's also in conflict because she knows she's not Sobek. She knows that she's not as good as her in some ways. She knows that she's better than her in some ways. And she knows that she's attached to people because she really does love the people from the last game. And then you get all of the story stuff about Rost. And she begins to identify more with Rost than with Sobek. And so this whole game's purpose is to try to help Aloy step into the role of Rost as opposed to into the role of Sobek, right? And that's, you can see that with Beta, where Beta's like been abandoned by her family, and then she looks to Rost to figure out how to navigate that relationship, and does it successfully because of Rost. And then also the other big way you see it is with Tilda, who had a thing with Sobek in the past, and she likes Aloy because Aloy is like a better version of Sobek in her eyes. Right? So she wants to take away Aloy and like start a new colony of human beings with her.
This is Vandermeer, right?
Vandermeer, Tilda. Yeah, the lady
Tilda Vandermeer,
who helps them, the Zenith that helps them.
The Matrix lady.
The Matrix lady. Actually, yes. And at the end of it, the whole time Tilda's trying to get her to do what Sobek would have done, which is go with Silence's plan to like sacrifice a ton of people to like make it all work, right? Because that's what Sobek did. And ultimately, she chooses to sacrifice essentially herself and be willing to let herself fall and like die in order to save the life that she cares for. Ultimately. Anyway, so that's a powerful story, in my opinion, of choosing between which parent, like which legacy to carry on. You know, I think that had so much, what's the word? Potential. And you know how they could have capitalized? By having Varl and her do anything together. Why wasn't there like 10 hours devoted to her and Rost and Varl?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, like, I got to this game and I'm like, oh, they mentioned Rost. Once. You know? Like, why was there not more about Rost? It's so funny where they're so heavy-handed with some things, and yet they're so subtle, in my opinion, with like the most important parts of her character development and the parts that would have made it interesting. Anyway, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, did you get any of that? And what do you think about it?
No, I'm totally with you, man. It's I don't know what they were expecting out of the player for the story. And that's another thing. Like, you only ever hear how good the game looks and how good the game plays. You never hear about, or how good the photo mode is. You never hear about the story, and I think that's so telling, because it must be lost on everybody. Yeah, we get the heavy-handed stuff, but yeah, there should have been more intimate development. Make me care about Aloy, not. Because, like, we're playing as Aloy, but we might as well be Varl. And because we're viewing Aloy from the third person. So when we see Aloy treat people like a jerk, we don't like her.
At least I don't. Yeah.
I don't like her.
Especially because, like, Varl and Erend and Katalo, like, they're so nice. And I personally think they're all pretty interesting characters. They really give Erend the shaft in this game. I mean, he doesn't do anything. Yeah. Very, very little to do, sadly. But, like, Varl, I think, is, like, an interesting character. I think Katalo is an interesting character. The girl, I can't remember her name.
Did I say I didn't like Varl, or did I say I didn't like Erend?
You said you didn't like Erend.
Okay.
Which you don't. Sure. So, I understand.
Erend's like Danny McBride to me.
He's a bit much.
Yeah. I mean, he's just like the comic relief. I understand that. He's the bumbling idiot, kind of.
But, like, he wasn't in the first game. That's the weird thing. Like, he was, like, very accomplished in the first game.
Yeah, in this first game, he's just like a guy with a big hammer. And he's like, I'll bash its brains in.
Yeah, in this game, he's, like, he's so stupid. Like,
yeah.
He can't do anything right, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about this game where, for me, the best parts were in the beginning half. But once it started going into Zenith territory and adding all this stuff and expanding so much, too much for me. Too much, man. Like, okay, I get it. This game, its sole purpose was for you to get to a third game. I understand that.
And it
like,
was.
Thanks.
Like, you feel that, in
totally
my opinion.
Was. By the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. But the first half, I thought was pretty good. You know? Sure, the prologue is really long. But that first territory in the Utah and the canyons, I thought was pretty good because you had some cool side quests, like with the miners who are being used. Like, that was cool. And then you call out the ruler.
The guy.
In
a moment where it's appropriate for her to be a jerk.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then when you meet your next tribe who's up in the north, and they're like the really spiritual people, I like that stuff. I actually teared up at the end of that side quest where you heal all the mechs, and they start doing that song.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really powerful moment. But that was the only one. I never got that. And it wasn't like I gotta tell you guys, I wasn't jaded playing this game. I wasn't comparing it to Zero Dawn or comparing it to anything else. I hadn't played Elden Ring yet. I was trying to just look at the game as it is. And that was the one powerful moment I got out of the entire experience. You know? Same.
Cause I'm in the same boat. Trust me. Mm-hmm. I spent $200 on this game. You know how much I wanted to like it? Like, I was searching.
Trying to justify every dollar.
You know what I mean? And the only time I felt emotional at all was when you went to, like, Varl's grave. And I get that I don't think there's a lot of motivation to feel sad about Varl. But at the whole, half of me was crying because I felt they underused him so much. And then, like, the other half is like,
I wish I got more time with him.
It is sad because, like, she just got with this girl, and she's like, she's pregnant, and like, this is their little area. Like, I thought it was cute that, like, she taught him all this stuff about plants, and then, like, there's the plants there, and it's sad.
Yeah, it was very sweet. A sweet romance in a very long game.
It would have been great if we had any focus on either member of that romance at all, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
I need it's just 50% less Aloy, 50% more everyone else.
Yeah,
and that would help Aloy.
The chef, even the chef from the first town was more interesting than Aloy and was more likable. He was so cool.
I know. It's like, we get it, Aloy. We get it. You got to do things alone. We get it. The whole last game was about doing things with people and recruiting help, but it's okay. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Whatever.
And then I gotta say, we're being so negative or critical about this game, which is fine. But one real positive thing is that Silence is a really good character. Mm-hmm. I love Silence. He steals the show every single scene. If he's in it, I'm looking at him. I'm listening to him. That voice actor, was it Lance
Riddick? Which is
Lance Riddick?
A dope name.
Immaculate. Dude. He's perfect. But in comparison to Aloy, it's like, oh, I don't want to look at Aloy, but I gotta play as her for 80 hours.
I know everyone really loves Silence. I find
you don't like Silence.
You know what? You know why I don't like Silence? Because he's just Aloy. Like, they're both like psychopaths,
but he embraces who he is.
That's true. They're both just like so mean to everyone.
Silence is like, you are but a caveman, fool.
That's a pretty good silence.
You will die in this Forbidden West.
Oh my gosh, he does a beautiful voice.
Yeah, he's just awesome.
And I get that maybe it would have been the easy route to go with like, Silence is doing something with Hades, watch out. Like, maybe that would have been the easy route. I don't know. It would have been a lot more interesting though. Even if it was easy. Because the first 3 hours of this game where you're first like going and like finding the remnants of Hades and you're catching up to Silence, was pretty interesting. I thought it was like a really compelling part of the game. You know, you're talking to Hades, you're extinguishing him forever. You're figuring out, it wasn't even about Hades. You know, like, these were, like, really interesting plot points.
And Silence is just taunting you the entire time. He'll just pop up and be like...
Just to drop a mic.
Cave woman.
Just be rude to you. Like, that was good. Those were cool parts. Mm-hmm. And there's all of these giant, evil super mechs all over the land. Over mountains, they're so big. Do we go into one? Does that ever matter at all? Could Silence have possibly maybe done something with the giant, larger than 5 skyscraper mech things? Yeah? Yeah, we could do something with that instead of what we did. Yeah. You know, what we planned on doing at the end of Zero Dawn. I don't know. I just like...
Oh, yeah.
He's just so much more interesting as a villain, especially because he's kind of like an anti-hero. Whereas the Zeniths are so laughably evil.
Yeah, it's that's why I call him Jeff Bezos. I mean, they're just so cartoon evil characters, like super villains. Yeah, we're here to suck the life force out of Earth and then leave.
And I'm this guy who's known for war, and all I do is kill people in VR. You're just like, oh, okay, you're the big boss. Good to know.
Yeah, I don't care for their mechs. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, not very fun to fight. I can't remember the sphincters. I know that's not what they're called, but that's what they are in my mind.
Or are they called specters?
Specters, yeah. Close. They're just. This is the thing. This is another thing. When you shoot these things, I want pieces to fly off. You know, I want it to be obvious that I'm doing damage to them. I want to feel like I'm tearing them apart. And nowhere is it more not that than with the specters, because you shoot them and they're just like so nice and smooth that it doesn't feel like you're doing anything to them, which narratively, like, yeah, that might make sense, but it doesn't make fun. Anyway,
I agree.
I don't know.
I have one more major complaint.
Give it to me. Give me your final major complaint while I search for my rest of mine.
I understand that this game is T for teen. But it would have been really nice if we got to see Pharaoh, who in our minds could have been anything. Just let us see it.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty lame to like have those characters die off screen and you just imagine what he looked like. I would like to know why he looked like that. And then I would just like to see him. And that whole CEO or CEO, wherever his name is.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic, I didn't like that. Good idea, bad execution. Because, like, of course, if there was an Elizabeth Sobek, there would be another Pharaoh, or whatever he is.
I love
But I don't.
I agree with you. I love the idea of Alva's civilization.
Mm-hmm.
You know what we could
So
have done?
Alva's a great character too.
And Alva's cool. Although, by the
like
way,
her a lot.
I really feel like, but Aloy is just this emotionless animal, right? Like, she finally meets someone who has this passion for data and information in the past.
Mm-hmm.
She finally meets someone who's just like her, and she's like, almost couldn't care less. Or at least that's the vibe I got, you know? You'd think she'd be like hyped. She'd be like, oh my gosh, like another person that's not...
Someone like me or something like
someone like me. Anyway, I never felt like she... I always felt like she's kind of talked down to Alva, like the whole time. Anyway. But Alva's culture's cool. And you know what? You could have just made them the antagonists, guys. Could have just brought them over. You know? Brought them all the way. Make them come over. They're invading. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
they're in search for knowledge, or they're like conquistadors or something.
yeah, and then, eventually you realize they just need help with this thing, so you help them with it. And then there's Silence coming in as the real big bad, or something. I don't know. I don't make games. If I did, they'd actually be good. But, like, yeah, I agree with you. I think the Ted Faro stuff was like an interesting portion of the game, because I thought it was cool to get into Thebes. And it was interesting.
Yeah, Faro, not Faro.
To like piece together the story, and I love that he's like the CEO and they don't know what it means, but they call him. I think that's like, that's a really fun Horizon thing where they do stuff like they misuse terms from the past, which is funny. So like I thought that was really good. But yeah, to me it was such a cliche not to show us. But like once you get to that point, it's going to be a cliche no matter what. Either you're not going to show us and be like, oh, leave it up to your imagination, you're big boys. Or you show us and it's not what some people wanted, and then it's a cliche anyway. So, Yep. I don't know. I thought that's an interesting storyline, but...
Yeah.
Yep.
Again, just great ideas. The execution wasn't really there, or it wasn't fleshed out enough for me to care. Like having the... What are they called? The areas for you to like get more mechs under your belt.
Oh, the cauldrons.
The cauldrons, yeah. I like the idea of Gemini. That was a really cool idea. But then it just, I don't know, just turned into like a boss fight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think you even get any more mechs after that one because it's story related.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Or maybe you get the flying ability from that one now. It's been so long.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and you just finished it.
Yeah, there's already a lot I've forgotten. But yeah. Those are our big negatives. I'm trying to think. I had one more thing that I was going to say. I agree with everything you've said, though. One interesting plot point that I think they should have done something with. So... all of these sub-functions have gained sentience. When she finds them, they're terrified. And then she just kills them. And merges them with Gaia. Like, I get that she's a killer. You know? A ruthless animal.
Aloy.
Yeah. She's pretty much Lara Croft 2.0.
Yeah.
Or Nathan Drake 2.0, except without the endearing humor. But
she's Nathan Drake without personality.
Yeah, which I guess is already what Lara is. But I don't know. I think it would have been really interesting to like have something where you either make a way for these sub-functions not to have to die, essentially, or where you could have done something to like convince them that it's okay to like deal with death and like move on and be part of something greater. I don't know. Like, it just... I think it's a really interesting topic, and they just are like, AI sentience? Oh, no. Get back into Gaia. You know, and they just, like, kind of breeze over it. It's, like, kind of a huge deal. Yeah. They created life. And, whatever. That sentient life isn't worth my life, because machines suck.
Yeah, I felt like this whole game was a big chore. You're just doing tasks. Doesn't feel like that in other open world games.
No. And can I say something that might be off topic, but might not be?
Sure.
There were like 5 weapons in this game, or am I insane? And what I mean by that is like 5 bows.
Dude, I used one.
Why
I used one. I used the longbow for the entire game.
Why are there not more plentiful weapons? And like, I get that it's really hard to make armor and to like make it work, but like, couldn't you have like cut off 90% of the desert and like made 3 more costumes, or 3 mountains perhaps, or like half the jungle? I wouldn't have noticed. You could have copy and pasted the jungle, mirror flip that bad boy. I'm not going to notice. Like,
to be honest with you, the whole weapon system and armor system in this game was so weird that I didn't even bother with it. I think I did the bare minimum for the trophies. But yeah, to be honest with you, I used the same outfit basically that I got from that one place in Vegas. Or it's not Vegas, it's the town with the giant spear.
oh, what did it look like?
It was red.
It was red.
I don't know. It didn't matter. I felt like I was just picking a color. And then, yeah, you have these weapons, but I almost have the opposite problem with you, is that there were so many that I couldn't care about. So I just used one. I just used the longbow the entire time because I really liked its explosive super shot or whatever. The power shot.
I guess what I mean is like, because personally I like the whole weapon wheel. I like to like have a long bow. I like to have a short bow that's, you know, has like maybe 2 or 3 elements on it. I liked the explosive spikes. I thought those were pretty cool.
Oh, the spears were pretty good.
Spears were dope. And then like I'll have another bow that has a couple more elemental. So like 2 war bows, a long bow, and I like that. Like I think that's cool. It's just I felt like I would find one bow that was good, and then I use it for like 15 hours because every bow I found after that was like absolute dookie, like so bad, so much worse. And it's like, why are you even giving me these? Like, it's just
no, for sure.
Like, why aren't there like cool bows that you can just get from like side quests? There's so many side quests I did that got me nothing.
It turned into like Borderlands, where it's like, oh, here's 0.1% more on your elemental damage. Thanks.
No, I know.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, I just didn't feel weapon progression. And then I just wanted more outfits, because like there are like 20 outfits. 10 of them are just like Tanakh, and I just don't like them at all. I just, maybe I'm bi. I just hate the way the Tanakh stuff looks for the most part. I like some of the Tanakh stuff that the NPCs get to wear. Some of their stuff is cool. Right? Why can't I wear that? But all the Tanakh stuff for Aloy are like so ugly. So,
yeah, and like where's like, I know they destroyed it in the beginning of this game or whatever, but at the end of Zero Dawn, if you did a big side quest, you got the best armor in the game. It was this really cool armor that would like heal by itself. It was like a light shield, like holographic shield. We didn't get that in this game.
No, I'm with you. I was waiting for that the whole time too, for her to like create some special armor. But instead, I wore the 2 Karja outfits I could find, or the 3, and I was done. Also, why are all the Nora outfits so hideous this game? Why? Anyway, because part of what I really liked in the last game was finding all these outfits, and like Aloy always looked so cool, you know? It was like every 5 hours I got to find a new cool outfit for Aloy to wear, and in this game I changed like twice.
Yeah.
Because I just disliked all of them.
I didn't like the outfits in this game. The weapons were fine. The spear and the longbow were my only 2 that I liked. I did not care about doing traps in this game as much as I did in the first game. First game was all about using the tether bow
Yes.
that would like anchor the mechs to the ground.
And the tripwire bow too. I loved that one.
I used that a lot more in Zero Dawn than this game.
Well, I felt like they were more effective. Maybe just like the tripcaster and the traps you get in the beginning of this game are like really bad, but I used them at the beginning and I didn't feel like they were very good, so I just never went back to them. But in Zero Dawn, I used all that stuff because it was super powerful.
I remember Zero Dawn, like Doom 2016, where I was switching from different bows and weapons after every shot, like really getting good at it.
Like tons of synergy.
I feel like yeah, exactly. I didn't have to do that in this game. I mean, that goes back to not feeling like the enemies had very many impactful weak points that I was looking for. It was just, here's damage, you're dead.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't know. And then, yeah. No, this.
As you guys might be able to tell, we weren't super hot on this, which is sad because I was really excited for it, as you may have been able to guess. And I don't think my hopes were like insanely high. I think it's just an okay game with a very, very mediocre story, and it underutilizes some really potentially great aspects and goes in just weird directions that I don't think were the most emotionally stimulating. I don't know how to say it, but
yeah, I did not care. I just did not care about this game, and they didn't make me care. It reminded me a lot of Shadowfall.
I could see that actually, yeah. It bears some similarities.
Like Regala sacrifices herself at the end. I didn't care. Kill yourself, I don't care.
Oh, I killed Regala.
Oh yeah.
Look at us with our branching
I'm
paths.
thinking of the Oh, that's right, because there's choices in this game.
Yeah, I killed that lady.
Choices that I did not care
There's like 3
about.
choices.
That's another thing. Can we get rid of the dialogue choices?
Dude, it was so funny. Like, because I think you're referring to the one that's like brain dialogue, heart dialogue, fist dialogue.
Yeah.
That like, showed up like...
Which one am I going to choose?
It showed up like twice in my entire game. And one of them was like 50 hours in. I'm like, oh, we still do this? I didn't realize I was still a thing. And then I killed her. Took the fist option.
Why would I not choose the heart option? It was the only opportunity where I might like Aloy.
Nah, man. I knew who Aloy was. Aloy's a killer, bro.
Lovable or charismatic in any way.
Aloy is a killer right up until the story says, no, Aloy's not a killer. She wouldn't throw an army at this thing. That's wrong. Even though she literally formed an army to throw at Hades so they could maybe have a chance of her getting in to shut it down before. Remember how that was the plot of the first game? We're not willing to do that a second time? No, it's wrong this time.
She's changed.
She has changed. She became more mean. I love how she just slaughters all of his people and then is like, yo, sorry about that. And then it's cool. Like, you know how terrified I'd be if I was Alva?
Serious.
I'd have pulled a shank on Aloy immediately. Like, oh my gosh. And I get that it's like, oh, she knows she's an ancestor. But like, did no one else realize she was an ancestor? Like, they all recognize her as an ancestor like 10 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Yeah. Again, cool ideas, poor execution. Another cool thing that I thought was like something of the 10, where like they worship the fighter pilots.
That was pretty dope. I like that.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
But then that just doesn't go anywhere. You make all the holograms work for them to listen to, and that's the end of it.
And like the only way they put it as a part of their society is marshals, the word marshals, saluting, and jumping off of stuff and catching ropes on the way down.
Yes.
That is the entire impact of the 10. And then saying
That's
the
America,
10.
Man.
That is America. It's just interesting. It's like they couldn't have done more with that. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever. I'm I'm probably being overly critical, bitter, as it were. Chris, do you want me to, since this has been an episode of hyperviolence, is it alright if I close this out with an interesting would you rather?
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
So listen to me. I kind of sent this to you, but not really. My wife, I told her about our episode. Last time, for those who haven't watched the Would You Rather episode, we talked about how many 5-year-olds we could kill with our fists before they overwhelmed us.
Let's say incapacitate.
Incapacitate from life. Completely. But
separate body from spirit.
Yes. And I told my wife, and we talked about it. And then she said there was a thing going around her work that was similar, but it was 10-year-olds, and you have a metal bat. How many are you taking with you?
How many are there?
There's 100 to start with in a coliseum. Same exact situation. They're all around you, but
do they have bats?
No bats. They just go home from school. They have their book bags. All right, just go home from 3rd grade. I think that's how old 10-year-olds are. And they start out 5 feet away from you, and equally dispersed in the arena after that.
It's 100 kids 5 feet away from me.
Mm-hmm. In a circle.
And they're 10.
They're 10. Let me look up a couple stats for you. I want to know the average height of a 10-year-old.
Dude, that has to be like 4'11".
America. Because we make them bigger here. Age 10, 50 to 59 inches. I'm no mathematician, but
it's like 20 inches less than me.
I think that's like 5 feet. No, it's not. That's not 5 feet. I'm retarded. That's like 4 feet. 4.5 feet? I'm going to math. 1 second. 50 divided by 12. 4.1666666. And 59 inches is like 5 feet. So about 4.5 feet. Another important statistic. Oh my gosh, Chris is measuring the distance around him. What percentage of American 10-year-olds are obese? Just curious, because that'll play into this. Oh, wow.
I don't have anything that's like a bat in this room. I'll have to figure it out.
All right, here we go. So, 1 in 6 children are overweight, 1 in 5 have obesity, and 1 in 16 have severe obesity.
That's a pretty good chance that
that's a lot.
At least half of them are severely overweight.
So you've got, see,
so I got some slow boys around.
They're slow, but they're tanks. You know what I mean?
They're tanks, but like, it doesn't matter how fat you are, your skull's still the same.
That's true.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah.
So I guess that is the current health crisis is an advantage to you.
So I don't have anything that's like a bat, so I'll use my guitar.
Dude, here we go. I feel like a bat's like maybe 3 feet, 3.5 feet, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You can do some damage.
And they don't have bats?
Dude, they have nothing. They have their book bags.
Oh yeah, I got this.
All of them?
Oh yeah. Dude, if half of them can't even outrun me or get close to me, I'm golden.
You're on the offensive here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I could definitely take out 100 kids.
It doesn't matter how tall they are, it's like, yeah, sure, they're 4 feet something.
If anything, it's an advantage because you don't have to swing down. Exactly.
And I don't have to kick as high. I just kick their knees.
That's true. If anything, I guess at 10 with a bat, it's might even be easier than 5 with nothing.
It might be. a bat is pretty scary because you have to think about the psychological damage you do to them as they're coming after you.
You also have to think about the psychological damage you do to yourself. But
I'd be fine.
I'd be fine. Yeah, a bat would be pretty horrifying. It's a pretty scary weapon, actually, if you think about it.
A bat? A steel bat? Dude, I'd be putting dents in that thing.
Yeah, you would be. It'd be horrifying. Man, what a happy note to end our discussion of Horizon on.
Oh, wait. I got a would you rather.
Oh, give it to me.
Would you rather be friends with Fidel Castro or Aloy?
Oh, Aloy, but only grudgingly.
Would you rather be friends with Ted Bundy or Aloy?
Ooh, they are both... I mean, Aloy's killed way more people than Ted Bundy. But she has sexually assaulted far fewer people than Ted Bundy.
Almost zero.
Almost, perhaps. I got to go with Aloy again. There's a shred of light in her. A shred. Although she would, no hesitation, get through all those kids, too. 100 kids? Child's play, literally.
Mm-hmm. Would you rather be friends with a bushwhacker or Aloy?
Probably a bushwhacker. Like, because would you rather be treated like Aloy treats Varl? Or would you rather be treated by, Rayleighs the way they treat you? Or your customers treat you?
Exactly.
Easy decision.
If you were hanging off a cliff, would you rather reach for Aloy's arm or just fall off?
Oh, gosh. I wonder if she would catch me. Depends.
Trick question. She would grab you and then just let you go.
Oh, my gosh.
She would trick you.
Speaking of falling, one last thing for me, criticism-wise. I feel like your glider, you're so slow. Right?
Well, it's like Mary Poppins, dude.
I don't want to be like Mary Poppins. I want to freaking fly, bro. Like, I want to go vroom. I felt like I never could get where I wanted to go using the glider. It was always just kind of like a really, really slow, barely moving forward like descent. It made me sad. I wanted it to be more like parachuting in like Warzone or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can go like super far.
Yeah.
Or like Breath of the Wild. You can go way further in Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt kind of lame. I don't know, maybe it's because they couldn't load things quick enough. Like if you move too fast. But then the bird goes fast.
I don't think so because the game doesn't need loading screens.
True.
It uses them only out of tutorials.
Yeah, like fast travel tutorial, and they're literally like a quarter of a second long. They're so short.
Mm-hmm. And you can, the draw distance is so far that, there's no need to load anything. You can just see it.
Just wanted it to be boring.
Right, yeah, they want you to look at the vista.
I can look while going
look at the
fast.
fog-ridden world.
Man. So, firing fast off here. Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West?
Zero Dawn.
Lara Croft or Aloy?
Aloy.
Yeah, I know.
Can't stand Laura's voice.
Let me think. Other things. What's the third game going to be called?
Oh. You got Zero Dawn, Forbidden West.
You know what's funny? It's going to be Horizon 3 Nemesis. Just like Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
There you go.
What a weird coincidence.
Yeah, what a coincidence. I'm sure it's going to be the worst one, just like Resident Evil.
Wow. Chris is hating on Resident Evil 3 over here. It's probably because you hate female protagonists.
No, I'm thinking about the remake.
Yeah, I know.
I just got the platinum in that again, and boy, oh boy. The game's not that great.
I know, you hate it.
I wouldn't say hated it, Josh. I wouldn't put words in my mouth if I were you.
I saw your Twitter
kill 110-year-olds with a bat.
You're a dangerous man, I forgot. I'll back off here.
And guess what? They're closer to your height than mine.
No. You're ready to take my head off immediately. I couldn't even swing on enough. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think Horizon Nemesis would be the app's name, because anything like Final Frontier would just be so stupid.
But they did name a game Horizon Forbidden West. So I don't know. I don't love the title here.
You don't like the title? I thought the title was fine. I thought they were going to stick with the Zero stuff for some stupid reason.
Horizon Zero West. Horizon Zero Earth.
Horizon Zero Chance.
Dude, what if they were just like Horizon Zero Dusk? Horizon Zero Afternoon? Horizon Zero Twilight? Oh my gosh.
Horizon Zero Brunch would be the cookbook.
Hello. I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Because then I get to have more time with the cook.
I think you have to name it Dawn, or not Dawn,
Dawn.
Nemesis. But I'm sure they're going to come up with something really stupid.
I do think Zero Dawn was a cool title.
Game.
You know?
Yeah, Zero Dawn was a cool
and it like
title.
Came together.
Oh, I remember when Zero Dawn came out. I was like, I know what the second one's going to be. It's going to be called Second Coming.
Oh my gosh.
A man can dream, but yeah, I think you gotta go with Nemesis, because anything else would just be stupid.
Horizon Nemesis Rising or some crap. I don't know.
Horizon Back to Earth. Last Stand.
Oh, and they're making the TV show Horizon 2047?
2077.
Yeah, something like that. It's about Sobek, right?
Is it?
Well, I think that's like when everything goes down.
Yeah. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's
the most interesting part of the lore.
Yeah, but I don't get to see anyone sliding around killing dinosaurs, but
I'm sure you'll see it.
I guess I have video games for that.
And they got the VR game coming out, which looks insane.
Yeah, it looks pretty
freaking
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that'll be cool if that works.
I think this is like another Star Wars situation where the further we get away from the main characters, the better it gets.
That'd be interesting. Maybe. Because, like,
if we get away from Aloy and Silence, it might be really cool.
Maybe, but I feel like we can salvage her. Like, we can do something cool here.
That's a tall order. She's pretty mean.
She is very mean. Maybe she'll get it next game. And maybe they'll do everything we've talked about, where, like, the companions teach her how to not be a douche. And, like, you know, and you have all these intimate moments with human beings.
Do you think there's going to be a romance between her and Beta? I think that would be pretty interesting.
That'd be so weird. To be romancing my own clone? That'd be the weirdest thing ever. But
she hasn't romanced anybody else, or hasn't like shown a romantic feeling towards anyone else.
I don't think this is the thing. She
might be so narcissistic that Beta's the perfect one.
She needs just a lesser version of herself in the name.
She just needs her with short hair.
I think that if she's gonna have a romance with anyone, which I don't know, she just might not. If she's gonna have it with anyone, it's gonna be Erend.
Oh my gosh,
which you would hate.
Varl. Yeah.
Dude,
Erend's such an idiot.
I like Erend. Shut up. Or
silence.
I want her to get with the sexy, oily Karja King. I like him. I've always liked him. He like proposes to you in the last game. I'm like, where's the yes button?
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Yeah.
Be a queen. Let's go. But
dude, he was hitting on her so hard in the beginning of this game.
I know. I was like,
so
can
funny.
I say yes? Can we avoid the game?
Right? Let's go.
This just becomes civilization.
But Aloy has no emotion. I didn't understand. I couldn't tell from Aloy if she wanted to or not.
I think she was like flattered, but like they don't even like leave the camera on her to see how she feels. It just like pans away because they don't know how to deal with it.
I liked leaving the controller, like setting the controller down during those moments, because then they would just awkwardly stare at you and kind of like just adjust themselves, waiting for you to respond. That's why they should just take those out, because it just broke the whole feeling for me.
Yeah, like
because like when I got into like a conversation, I just set the controller down, leave for like 5-10 minutes, and then come back. And it's like, oh, they're just still standing around.
Yeah, I think the branching narrative is kind of out of place because you can't role play because Aloy is always going to be the way she... Like, granted, you have that with Shepard in Mass Effect, but for some
Shepard's
reason...
a blank slate. He's like a blank canvas that you paint on.
Kind of, but he has
Aloy
like his
is
own
like...
personality, at least in my opinion.
Sure.
Like, he has a base, and like you can't deviate very far from it.
But at the same time, you kind of build that base in the beginning by saying, like,
That's
is
true.
he Earthborn? Is he an orphan?
That's true.
With Aloy, she's like a painted canvas that you're just trying to, like,
doodle
add
on
stuff to.
Maybe,
but
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're just adding stuff that doesn't matter, because obviously Guerrilla is not going to take into account the choices that you make in this game.
They're not going to let me be nice in this game. Pure anger all the time. Didn't she like tell Hikaru she was just gonna murder him? Didn't she just approach a leader of a nation and was like, I need to get to the thing below you?
Yeah, she did, you're right.
She was like why don't I just slit your throat now? It's like, dude, Aloy, calm down.
She turns into Danny DeVito Penguin.
Straight up. And like, there's the thing. I get that it's supposed to show character development because she's becoming more like Rost, more warm-hearted, more caring for life. But like, it's so out of the blue, in my opinion, that she goes from being like, Hikaru, I'm going to slit your throat and bathe in your blood so I can get past you. I don't care about you or your people. She goes from that to being like, oh no, we can't sacrifice a few rebels to get into the Zenith compound. Oh no.
She pulled a Lara Croft.
Yeah.
You were totally right by saying that she's just like Lara Croft. She destroyed a wall that was protecting people from mechs just to prove a point. Just to get her way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Like, she put so many lives in danger, right?
She could have killed someone by exploding the wall of boulders. Where there's kids.
And then, like, all of those people suddenly don't have a place to live.
Yeah.
Or they don't have protection.
They have to leave. And Katala was like, good.
I know.
Psychotic, dude.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of underutilized characters and plot points that would have better served the story than trying to expand the world of Horizon to the stars.
Literally.
Like, I could not care less about the Zeniths and how they so villainously floated down all the time. Yeah, like angels. It was very heavy-handed.
I also wanted like a more brutal end for some of the Zeniths.
Yeah,
but like
it's like they died off screen again.
Yeah, it's not very satisfying.
It's like the Pharaoh stuff. Like, just show us, man. Like I don't need every game to be rated M.
Mm-hmm.
But I need every game to show me what it wants to show me, and to like, I don't just do what you want. I felt like they felt held back by the teen rating, but you didn't have to make it like a bloody mess.
It didn't have to be crazy gory, but like,
no,
it could have at least shown them die.
Like, yeah,
I don't know. And maybe they did and I didn't notice. I don't know. But like
let's think of some teen games where there's deaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of any on the top of your head?
All the Uncharted's.
Uncharted. That's first party.
I think a lot of them have pretty satisfying deaths for folks, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Have I played any video games ever? I'm trying to think of a moment where I was like, yeah, they died. You know, like a really satisfying death. They're few and far between.
They are you. You know what? You're right. Oblivion was one of them. Oblivion was teen at first, and then it changed to M.
Did it really?
Only because of one nudity scene with the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think is that rated M?
What?
No. It is rated M. I was thinking of Yakuza.
Yeah, Yakuza's definitely rated M.
What about like people in Spider-Man? That's T for teen. People
There's some
like
satisfying.
Yeah, it's very satisfying when they die. Like spoilers for Spider-Man, I guess. Doesn't Doc Ock die?
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, it didn't have to be this like Spider-Man didn't crack his neck open and then pull his head off. Like they did it and it serviced the game perfectly.
And like interestingly enough, on that note, like God of War has some pretty gory kills, right? Mm-hmm. But I think personally one of the most satisfying kills is when you kill Baldur and you just snap his neck.
Yeah, that could have been teen. That could have been just fine.
It's satisfying because of the emotional weight, the music, the way it looks, like the build up. Like that's why it's satisfying. And then in this, it just kind of happens. Also,
I think I found the. Oh, sorry.
You go.
I think I found the perfect word for this game. Formulaic.
Yeah.
Everything is formulaic. Because the one Zenith that I remember dying, like the most for some reason, is the one who attacked you first in that one cauldron. Like the brooding guy, the big guy.
The guy who kills people in VR. Yeah.
Yeah. You fight him. He overpowers you, but you get away. And then you come back and he dies. That's just, you can call that from a mile away.
I know.
You know?
And then Zoe like stabs him in the back and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's just all these things. It's like, oh, could have called that one.
And then she says to him what he said to Varl when he killed him.
Yeah, oh my god.
I just think it's so cringy.
It's so cliche, dude.
It's like, you don't have anything else to say. But anyway.
This should have been called Formulaic West.
Whoa!
Formula West.
Formula One. Gran Turismo?
Formula 2.
Whoa. Yeah, dude. What a depressing episode.
Dude, seriously. And you like, I feel I feel bad for you because you were really excited for this game.
So excited. That's half the reason I bought a PS5. Because I knew this was coming.
Like, I get Horizon.
And then like, man.
Like if you were bringing up the point earlier, better games on PS5 than Forbidden West. You named first parties. Yeah, I would put Returnal over this any day of the week. I would put Gran Turismo over this, probably. Elden Ring, obviously.
Didn't even think about Elden Ring. Yeah, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring is hands down. And it's because Elden Ring it is an open world, but it is trying to be a different open world and not trying to be a Ubisoft open world. I can look at my other PS5 games. Obviously Demon's Souls, like you said.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a lot better than this. Personally.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a great game.
I would totally agree with you. I don't remember what I said on that episode, but I totally agree with you. Sifu, which I've only gotten halfway through, I would say is a better game on PS5 than Forbidden West. Miles Morales, easily hands down, is better, even though it's the worst of the two.
And that game sucks.
But that game's not that great. Even though its tagline to be greater.
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut, great game.
Great game. Here, let me see.
We're just gonna go look through a bunch of games and be like, yeah, these are better. Persona 5, PS4 version running on PS5, better. Kentucky Route Zero, better.
Resident Evil 7, 2, and 3, which just came out. Maybe not 3, but 2 and Biohazard are better. You know, I would say Sackboy: A Big Adventure.
Astra's Playroom. Oh my gosh. Insurgency Sandstorm.
Dude, Hell Let Loose, Hebroxia 2.
Hebroxia 2. Oh my gosh.
Evil Dead, the game, is actually better. Ghostwire Tokyo, maybe not.
You were pretty hot on that game when it came out. I dodged that bullet. I didn't think it was going to be
It
very
got
good.
really old.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get back to it, but my OCD wants me to do everything. There are so many collectibles, dude. There are so many collectibles, and you have to collect all the spirits in Tokyo, and there has to be 1,000. There has to be.
Not gonna lie, dude. That's one of the things I didn't like about this game. I look at the map, and I'm just overwhelmed with crap.
Icons.
Icons everywhere. I just want a story. Just give me a story mode. Don't even let me see the other stuff. You know?
You know what, guys? Let's look at the trophies. Let's see how creative they are with the trophies. This was a big thing for me.
This is Chris's most
Reach
important
level
thing.
20 is a name. Reach level 30. Here's another name. Secured passage to the embassy. Could they put any less effort into naming these trophies? The names are the descriptions, guys.
Yeah, dude.
Recovered ether, recovered Poseidon. Here, I'll go down to some like zany ones.
Ooh.
Used dye flowers is a name for a trophy. And guess what? They're the same icons from Zero Dawn.
Huh.
They're just darker color. Like, I can go Zero Dawn right now. Watch me.
Chris is furious about this.
It's going to take a while because I play a lot of games.
Everything else, not too bad. Story being bad, who cares? Trophy icons the same? God,
I can't handle it, dude.
I bet.
Can't handle it. Here's Zero Dawn. Stealth killed 10 enemies. Oh, they even look the same. I thought they were different color from Zero Dawn, but they're the same colors.
Breaking my heart.
Reached level 10. Reached level 50.
I think they just copy and pasted them, dude.
They did.
Dang, maybe everyone was right when they complained about them reusing assets.
It's asinine. This is so bad. Trophies are an art, and they just didn't care. They delayed the game over and over again just for this.
Give me your letter score. We're going to end with that. We're going to do the wrong
letter
thing.
score?
I want to see, like, if you're giving this a grade, you're a TA, you're a teacher, you're grading this game.
Watch me delete this game.
Whoa. Dude, I'm going to send this to Gorilla. They're going to cry.
Yeah, they are.
I still have it downloaded. I'm bothered by that. Anyway. What is your...
There's a better game right there from PS4.
That's true. What's your letter grade?
Dude. So we have to take into account. The game looks very impressive.
It is stellar.
One of the best games. I don't think it looks as good as Demon Souls. But it's up there. It's like top tier visuals.
And the technical performance, too, on top of that.
Technical performance. Accessibility is great.
Mm-hmm.
Besides you mapping controls. Which a PS3 game from 2006 does. But
yes.
I don't care.
But then everything else is dookie, essentially.
Everything else is pretty dookie. You got some cool characters, one really good side quest. But man, it's such a slog of a game, dude. It was like not painful to go through, but like I was playing the game just to get through it.
I definitely wanted to play other games.
I did not have a desire to play Elden Ring at the time or anything else. I was just playing the game, trying to play the game. And it wasn't fun for 40 hours of it. A letter grade for Horizon Forbidden West would probably be a B minus. Because I gotta be somewhat objective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can be very subjective and say that I never want to play it ever again, which is the truth. But yeah, B minus. I would say a B minus. C plus.
I was right with you. I think B minus. You know,
B minus minus.
exactly 80%. You know, just clinging to the status of not a C. Because, like,
Yeah, it's like
it looks so good.
it's
You know,
it looks so good, and it runs so good.
and there are parts which are not actively painful, but so much of it is a slog.
If I remember correctly, there was one weird thing where this could be another game, but did you have a problem where if you hit pause and you unpaused, there would be a weird lag and then it would start playing?
I had that
Or
in
am I
Control.
just Yeah, that's Control. You're right. I think of two different games.
Yeah, Control was a technical disaster, but still
Two
a
different
perfect game.
redheads.
Dude, it's like the
My
opposite.
fault. Dude, Control is so good. I think about that game every once in a while. I'm like, man, I wish I could play that again for the first time.
Sure wish they'd make Control 2 instead of Alan Wake 5. I know it's just Alan Wake 2, but still.
You know, I bet Alan Wake's going to come out and he's going to be the villain. And you play as whatever her name is. Cassandra.
Jesse Faden.
Jesse
It's
Faden.
not gonna happen, bro. You know how much
I'm so
this
excited
studio
for that
is
game,
in
though.
love with Alan Wake? When they're not like worshiping David Lynch, they're worshiping Alan Wake. They would
you
throw
played Alan
Jesse
Wake?
into a pit to keep Alan Wake alive.
Have you played Alan Wake?
No.
Jared and I played it like because that was one of the first games I played on. I guess not. It was a 360 game that I played, and I loved it back then. But playing it again with Jarrett, dude, that game sucks. Like I don't like that game. It's actually hilarious.
Oh no.
Like if you ever play it, everything is disproportionate. Like like the light switches are up to his face.
Maybe
It's just weird stuff like that.
maybe it's a Swedish thing. Or no, where's the developer
Maybe they
from?
had
I know
Remedy. Dude, I don't know.
they're from like Northeastern.
But like maybe they use like AI to remaster it, because you remember that thing that happened with GTA where they got all like the signs wrong
yeah.
because they used an AI.
Yeah.
Maybe they did something like that.
Maybe. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I looked up a totally wrong thing. It's whatever.
No, it's okay.
Let's end this.
Yeah, let's do
Let's put ourselves out of misery. Maybe the third one's going to be good. I'm sure I'll end up playing it. So
I know for a fact I'm going to play the third one, and I'll go into it with just an open mind as I did with this one. I'll get the platinum again, without a doubt.
not going to
But
buy the
will it
collector's
be
edition again.
No, you won't. But will it be because I just want the trophies or because I like the game?
It's always just because you like the trophies. You're an
That's not
addict.
true. That's not true.
All right. Sure.
All right. Close this out.
My friends, we thank you for listening. I hope that you guys share our feelings. Otherwise, this was probably a pretty big bummer. And if you don't share our feelings, it was still probably a big bummer because this game, I wish it was better than it is. But with this sadness and perhaps even despondency, we leave you. But the one shining beacon of light, the one ray of hope we have, the one little drop of happiness we share is our amazing patrons. We got Cody, Emmett, and John. What amazing people. What amazing friends. We love them. We're grateful for them.
Love you.
And if you want to be like them, if you want to not be a ruthless, emotionless killer like Aloy Croft, then come be our patrons, join the ranks, and also make sure to comment on the video. Tell us what game you want us to play next. There's a couple we've got in the background here, but we're on our feet, we're on our toes, we're willing to react, you know? So tell us what you want to hear about, and we'll get to it.
We're waiting for Stray. That should be our next game, honestly.
Dude, cat game. I'm so excited.
Cat game.
And we got the burger chain episode that we're going to do. Who was it that suggested that, Chris?
I think his name's Earl Shea.
Yes, Earl. Thanks, Earl. Awesome comment. We're going to definitely do that. We're excited about that. But yeah, thank you, Earl Shea, for commenting. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. And we love you guys, and we'll see you next time in the Forbidden West.
What's your defect?
You know, beta. You know what that reminds me of, Chris? Is the beta amyloid plaques that build up when you get Alzheimer's. That's how I felt whenever I saw beta on screen.
Not cool, man.
Hit the wrong button. That's